Hi, everybody. All right, so now we are going to work together, and I'm going to show you an example of how to complete this graphic organizer where you're going to be comparing one book that we read earlier, either Rain School, That Book Woman, or Nazarene Secret School, to Waiting for the Biblioburro. So I'm looking at the same form that you're working on, and I'm going to look at the steps for finding similarities and differences between text. All right, so select your favorite story to compare with Waiting for the Biblioburro. Well, because we have three texts to choose from, I'm going to use for an example a text that is not one that you're going to be choosing from. And I'm going to use the Librarian of Basra. So remember, the example that I'm doing is not available for you to choose from, just those three that are listed at the top. One, two, three. Okay. Step two, reread the text to refresh your memory. I've already done that. I've reread The Librarian of Basra and I reread Waiting for the Biblioburro. Okay, so as I was rereading The Librarian of Basra, I was thinking about some similarities that were between the two books. And the first one that I picked was a similarity between the main characters. So I'm going to put characters and I'm going to say Alia from The Librarian of Basra and Anna. Okay, so in the book that I read, I noticed that Alia really loves books and she thinks they are so important to her. Okay, and then I'm going to go and look at the text for the Librarian of Basra, and my evidence I found on page 5. And the first sentence says, Alia worries that the fires of war will destroy the books, which are more precious to her than mountains of gold. All right, so that is a great line that I'm going to put in there in my graphic organizer for something that's similar because Anna loves books too, and she thinks they are so important. And we're going to get to the detail from the text in a moment. So, the books in her library are more precious to her than mountains of gold. Okay. So that's something that the characters have in common. And Anna also feels that the books are so important to her. And I'm going to go to the Waiting for the Biblioburro. And I remember there was a part where it talks about how important that one book that she got from her teacher is so important to her. And it's on page 6, and it says, Anna has read her book, her only book, so many times she knows it by heart. This was a gift from her teacher for working so hard on her reading and writing. So, this one book is so important to her. She's read it so many times that she knows it by heart. So, I'm going to put that in my own words. Anna loves the one book she got as a present from her teacher for working so hard that she has memorized it from reading it so many times. Okay, so there I have an example of how are the characters the same in Waiting for the Biblioburro and in The Librarian of Basra. All right, so that's one example. I want you to find two examples that are similar between the book that you selected and Waiting for the Biblioburro. Remember, it doesn't have to be character, it could be motivation, it could be the environment, it could be the problem that they're facing, or the solution that they come up with. Okay, the second example I'm going to do is finding a difference between the two books that we're working on.